I'm Azaria Tagaya, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Newly installed Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim pledges equity, fairness for all Malaysians. And Malaysia's 5.8% GDP growth in second quarter beyond expectations.
Daulat tuanku! Daulat tuanku! Daulat tuanku!
The 17th Yang di-Pertuan Agong, His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim, on Saturday pledged to discharge his duties faithfully, honestly and fairly with full consideration to all Malaysians. The newly installed king also said he would safeguard the well-being and sovereignty of the country. The installation of Sultan Ibrahim as the 17th King of Malaysia was conducted in a ceremony steeped in Malay royal customs and tradition at Istana Negara on Saturday, marking a historic and momentous event for the nation. It began with a royal salute steeped in military tradition by the three branches of the Malaysian Armed Forces. The ceremony, held at the main square of Istana Negara, involved members of the Army, Air Force and Navy, symbolizing the pledge of loyalty of the National Defence Forces to the King as their supreme commander. Sultan Ibrahim and Raja Permaisuri Agong Raja Zarit Sofia then descended from the royal dais and proceeded to Dewan Seri Maharaja for the installation ceremony. The king, wearing the muskat, the official dress of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, and the queen, looking elegant in a golden kurung Johor outfit, attracted the attention of the guests as they walked past them to sit on the throne. The sounds of the nafiri and the tune of Raja Berangkat, played by the Nobat of Perak, reverberated in the hall as the royal couple entered a ceremony full of traditions of the Malaysian monarchy. Approximately 700 guests, including Malay rulers, governors, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and foreign dignitaries and leaders attended the ceremony, which was streamed live on national television.
InsyaAllah saya akan melaksanakan tanggungjawab yang diberikan dengan jujur dan ikhlas dan memerintah dengan adil dan saksama serta penuh timbang rasa kepada semua rakyat jelata demi menjaga kesejahteraan dan kedaulatan negara.
The king also expressed hope that the government would continue to work to alleviate the burden of the people and develop the country to be more advanced and prosperous. Sultan Ibrahim was elected the 17th Yang di-Pertuan Agong at the 263rd special meeting of the Conference of Rulers on October 27, 2023, and took his oath of office on January 31, 2024. His Majesty replaced Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah of Pahang, whose reign as the 16th king ended on January 30th. The institution of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is a pillar of strength for the country and its diverse population, ensuring equality and justice for all Malaysians in line with the principles of constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the king's role as the head of Islam, the federal religion, strengthens the position of the Malay language and defends the rights and privileges of the Malays and the Bumiputra community. The Prime Minister said this while congratulating and pledging loyalty to Sultan Ibrahim on his installation as the 17th Yang di-Pertuan Agong. He said the installation of His Majesty marks a historical event that will be able to raise the dignity of the country.
Institusi Yang di-Pertuan Agong adalah mahkota negara dan rakyat yang mampu mengikat semangat kesatuan dan perpaduan dan dimuliakan sebagai mercu keihsanan. Justru patut bagi pihak kerajaan serta rakyat sekalian juga berikrar akan sentiasa menumpahkan taat setia kepada tuanku.
The Prime Minister also noted that the King plays a role in ensuring strong ties between Malaysia and ASEAN countries, other Islamic nations and at the international level. Anwar said that the government and people pray to Allah that the Majesties and family will always be blessed by His grace and guidance, remain steadfast on the throne and always be in good health. And under the patronage of Sultan Ibrahim, Anwar said that the government and the people will weather global economic fluctuations through new sustainable initiatives to ensure the well-being of the people. The Prime Minister said that the firm measures as outlined in the Madani economy framework had brought about an encouraging growth rate forecast of 5.8% for the second quarter of this year.
Momentum segar ini diperkukuh dengan angka nilai perdagangan bernilai 1.396 trilion ringgit. Sementara nilai pelaburan baru yang diluluskan adalah sebanyak 83.7 bilion ringgit. Untuk suku pertama tahun ini, yakni 13% lebih tinggi ketimbang 74.1 bilion ringgit tahun lalu.
The government, Anwar stressed, will continue its efforts and approaches, emphasizing educational and health reforms by improving infrastructure quality, English language proficiency and exploring new fields such as artificial intelligence, AI, digital transformation and energy transition. In the pursuit of current reforms and transformations, Anwar added that the government will consistently emphasize noble values, strengthening morals and national identity, aside from focusing on increasing respect and loyalty to the Constitution and the Rukun Negara. Britain's King Charles III has extended his congratulations to Sultan Ibrahim on his installation as the king. The message was shared by the British High Commission on Instagram. The British monarch said he looked forward to working with Sultan Ibrahim to strengthen the bonds between the people of both countries and deepen the close cooperation between the two nations. King Charles said as Commonwealth partners, the United Kingdom and Malaysia share common values and long-standing links in areas such as education, trade, technology and defence. He also added the importance of collaboration in addressing global challenges and said he hoped that both nations can continue to build on all that unites the countries in the years ahead, including the shared commitment to tackle climate change and safeguard the natural environment for future generations. In addition, the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to Malaysia, Elsa Terry, and the High Commissioner of Australia to Malaysia, Danielle Heinecker, also extended their congratulatory messages. Some foreign embassies, such as the United States, Spain, Turkey, the Philippines and Maldives, also uploaded their congratulatory messages on social media. The Malaysia Computer Emergency Response Team, MyCERT, has issued a critical alert following reports of increased phishing attacks leveraging on recent CrowdStrike incidents. MyCERT said such attacks use fraudulent domains, command and control C2, internet protocol, addresses and malware binaries to compromise systems and steal sensitive information. In a statement on its website on Saturday, MyCERT said the phishing domains mimic legitimate websites, deceiving users into unknowingly installing malware or disclosing personal credentials. Meanwhile, attackers use C2 servers to maintain control over compromised devices and extract sensitive data. MyCERT noted that additionally, malicious software delivered through websites or emails exacerbates the threat landscape by executing harmful actions on infected devices. The agency has provided 30 potential indicators of compromise, including their value, type and additional information available on its website. It said generally, Cybersecurity Malaysia advises users to stay updated with the latest security announcements from vendors and follow best practice security policies to determine which updates should be applied. Meanwhile, AirAsia has resumed its online check-in operations at 2 p.m. on Saturday after the carrier was thrown into turmoil following the global IT glitch since late Friday afternoon. AirAsia Deputy Group Chief Executive Officer for Airline Operations, Datuk Captain Chester Vu, said the low-cost carrier would continue to monitor the situation. He said this was the first time in recent years that the airline had experienced a system blackout of such magnitude, necessitating a complete switch to paper mode. The airline has strengthened strengthened its operations to manage the weekend rush at the airport by deploying more than 200 ground staff, nearly 100 All-Stars volunteers and security personnel to help mitigate the situation. In the meantime, businesses and services around the world were slowly recovering on Saturday after a massive technology outage wreaked havoc across the globe. The CEO of US cybersecurity company CrowdStrike, George Kurtz, whose botched software update hit Microsoft Windows operating system on Friday, said several services were now back online. However, he cautioned that a total recovery could take weeks. CrowdStrike said it had rolled out a fix for the problem, and Kurtz said he wanted to personally apologize to every organization, every group and every person who has been impacted by the widespread glitch. Meanwhile, Microsoft said that several reboots may be required, with some users reporting that as many as 15 could be needed before the problem is fixed. A faulty software update caused the unprecedented outage on Friday, grounding flights, knocking out financial companies and news outlets, and disrupting hospitals, supermarkets and small businesses and government offices. The global chaos has sparked concern over the vulnerability of the world's interconnected technologies and the extent to which a single software glitch could have such a widespread impact. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has expressed confidence that the nation's economic growth will enable the country to rise as a strong nation. The Prime Minister said Malaysia has broken through the wall of uncertainty by registering 5.8% growth in the second quarter of this year, beyond normal expectations and projections. Anwar said under the Madani economy, the government has promised better job opportunities, training and technology transfer to move the country towards digital and energy transition.
Alhamdulillah, kita telah memecah tembok kerunsingan dengan mencatat pertumbuhan menakjubkan 5.8% suku kedua tahun ini. Luar daripada jangkaan biasa, luar daripada unjuran yang dikemukakan oleh semua pihak.
In a video uploaded to his Facebook page, the Prime Minister also thanked the people, workers, professionals and investors who continue to believe in the direction of the Madani economy. Malaysia's efforts in exploring new fields such as artificial intelligence, AI, digital transformation and energy transition have also caught the attention of international bodies. Ricardo Puletin of the International Finance Corporation IFC commended Malaysia for its strategic focus on digitalization, which has immensely impacted the way Malaysian companies are doing business. Position themselves. Buletin was speaking exclusively to TV3 on its weekly flagship business program Money Matters, which returned for the first episode of its new season on Saturday. According to the Regional Vice President for Asia and the Pacific at the IFC, which is part of the World Bank Group, currently the competitiveness of countries across the globe are mostly linked to digitalization, AI and financial inclusiveness. In that sense, he said Malaysia has proven its competitive advantage by integrating digital technologies across all of its economic systems.
I met a company which is Malaysian, with Malaysian entrepreneurs that are already going around the world. I was deeply impressed, and I think that the country has all the factors. They have a young population that is very digital savvy. They are building this ecosystem, so I think that these are not just ambitions, that are ambitions that little by little can become real.
He added that the IFC is of the view that Malaysia is doing very well at the moment as it has a good grasp of digitalization and its importance in gaining a competitive edge. Puletin also highlighted the nation's ability in terms of developing and building an ecosystem that will enable local companies to better compete globally.
So I think that Malaysia is doing very well in the sense that Malaysia knows that the most important factor for competitiveness is really digitalization, is really building an ecosystem that can attract high-value, high-tech companies, can retain them, building a workforce that is able to learn from other lessons to really develop local companies that are competitive all over the world. I have to tell you...
Speak with you and... In Kedah, an 18-year-old teenager died while waiting to watch the FA Cup semi-final first leg match between Kedah Darul Aman KDA-FC and Johor Darul Takzim JDT at the Darul Aman Stadium in Alor on Friday night. Kota Star Police Chief Siti Nur Salawati Saad said Muhammad Danish Hakim Muhammad Zahir collapsed while seated in the stands at about 7 p.m. A 5-second video clip went viral on social media showing medical personnel at Darul Aman Stadium rushing to carry a teenager on a stretcher. In a statement on Saturday, the Kota Star Police Chief said Muhammad Danish, who came to the stadium with his younger brother to watch the football match between KDA-FC and JDT, collapsed and lost consciousness while in the stands before the match started. Spectators who witnessed the incident immediately contacted the Civil Defence Force on duty at the stadium to transport the teenager to Sultan Hospital for treatment. However, medical officers confirmed that the teenager had died. Siti Nur Salawati said checks with the family revealed that the teenager had been a heart disease patient since childhood. She said medical authorities confirmed the cause of death as complex cyanotic heart disease. Police also confirmed that there were no criminal elements involved and the case was classified as sudden death. Coming up, police use live rounds amid deadly protests. Stay tuned.
Unexpected.
Hilarious lah, I would say.
Sangat santai. Wow.
Tanya, ternyata Saka Perawan ni lain dapat lain.
Classic horror comedy. You know, nowadays we don't have these kind of movies anymore.
Kemunculan selebriti yang legend.
Saya suka semua si yang Bazli. Laju dia buat kerja.
Something yang ditunggu-tunggu di hujung.
9/10.
Solid 8 out of 10. Saya bagi 8.
Saya bagi 8.
8.
Pencalonan baru Music 39 minggu ini. Siapakah yang bakal menjadi carta Top 20 Music 39 minggu ini? Music 39 Ahad ini jam 12.20 tengah hari di TV3 dan stream secara langsung di aplikasi Tonton. Pertama kalinya berlaku di Azaria Voice Malaysia. Kita nak bantu Ayi. Jom kita panggil Azaria.
Satu kelainan.
Yang ramai kat sini pun tak berotak.
Satu kemeriahan.
Aku pilih.
Aku dah malah nak bergaduh.
Mata tak menipu.
Pum pum pum.
Siapa datang semua pun nak bergatal.
Saya dah cakap banyak kali dengan korang semua ni.
Menjanjikan kepuasan. Saksikan Ahad ini 9 malam di TV3.
Back on Nightline, Bangladesh police fired live rounds at protesters in Dhaka on Saturday amid the continuation of student-led protests that have killed at least 105 people this week. At least one person was wounded among thousands present in the neighbourhood of Rampura for the demonstration held in defiance of a government curfew imposed to contain growing civil unrest. The Dhaka Medical College Hospital said it had received at least 27 dead bodies between 5 and 7 p.m. local time on Friday. But with the death toll climbing and police unable to contain the protests, the government has imposed a national curfew. The curfew is expected to last until 10 a.m. on Sunday when the government will assess the situation and decide the next course of action. Meanwhile, a suspension on internet and text message services has remained in place since Thursday, cutting off Bangladesh from the rest of the world. United States President Joe Biden has vowed to return to the campaign trail next week, despite the growing calls from members of his Democratic Party asking him to withdraw. In a statement on Friday, Biden said he was eager to campaign again, fortifying his commitment to stick in the race. However, at least 8 dozen Democratic lawmakers on Friday alone have called for him to step aside. Top Democratic figures, including Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi, have also privately pressured the president to quit. Over the last several weeks, Biden has been caught in a whirlwind of political pressure to step down as calls from leaders within his own party to withdraw from the race, a loss of big-ticket donors, and the added pressure that his decision could cost Democrats control of Congress.
At this hour, my friends,
Rescue operations were underway on Saturday after at least 12 people died in the partial collapse of a highway bridge in northern China. According to local media, the bridge in Shanglo City buckled over a river at around 8:40 p.m. local time on Friday due to a sudden downpour and flash floods. It was reported that 17 cars and 8 trucks fell into the river. China's National Fire and Rescue Authority said it had dispatched a rescue team made up of nearly 900 people, 90 vehicles, 20 boats and 41 drones. So far, only one person has been rescued as more than 30 people remain missing. Large portions of northern and central China have been battered since Tuesday by rains that have caused flooding and significant damage. A Ukrainian former lawmaker best known for her crusade to promote the Ukrainian language has died after being shot by an unknown assailant. Irina Farian, 60, initially survived the assault in the western city of Lviv on Friday, but later died from her wounds in hospital. A manhunt is currently underway for her attacker, who fled from the scene. Ukrainian officials said an investigation is being carried out and that the attack is being treated as an assassination. According to the country's interior minister, the police are considering personal animosity toward the former MP due to her social and political activities as a likely motive behind the attack. Farian served as a member of the Ukrainian parliament between 2012 and 2014 and was best known for her campaigns to promote the use of the Ukrainian language. Through to last 4 sports when we come back.
Saya yang akan bantu mengeluarkan saka itu.
Setiap pendamping yang diambil ada perjanjiannya.
Kalau sangka sembang, formula sana, formula sini, semua orang boleh.
Berus gigi pun kau bawa. Aku bukan nak uji DNA dia.
Harapan saya ni kalau boleh langsui, Pontianak semua kembalilah ke bagai jalan.
Wanita hebat menyuntik inspirasi, cipta kejayaan dengan usaha sendiri.
Saya suka bercakap, saya boleh bercakap 8 jam non-stop. Kalau di tempat sistem tu tak kena, memang orang kata ADHD dia bermasalah. Tapi di tempat yang sesuai, diorang boleh thrive dalam hidup.
Fokus utama dalam dekor saya nampakkan tak clutter. Dekat tingkap ni ada long bench. So bila nak makan tu memang sedaplah mata memandang.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Kes TB dan kusta semakin meningkat.
Kalau turun ke, naik ke, setiap orang sebenarnya perlulah berwaspadalah dengan situasi kesihatan ataupun tahap kesihatan diri.
Stigma dan diskriminasi punca pesakit enggan mendapatkan rawatan awal.
Takut didiagnosis sebagai kusta sebab kita tak nak dipulaukan.
Yang penting masyarakat perlu tahu yang kusta boleh dirawat, mereka boleh sembuh.
TB dan kusta, sejarah mungkin berulang. Perbincangannya dalam Hello Doktor, Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
We're back with sports now. Tennis and the 2024 Swedish Open. Rafael Nadal booked his place in the final by beating Đuje Ajdukovic over 3 sets in Boston. Nadal lost the opener 3-6 before bouncing back to claim the next 2 sets 6-4, 6-4 in 2 hours and 12 minutes. The 38-year-old Spaniard will face 7th seed Nuno Borges of Portugal in the final on Sunday. Borges beat unseeded Thiago Agustin Tirante of Argentina 6-4, 6-3 in another semi-final clash. Still on tennis, the 2024 Hamburg Open, Alexander Zverev's title defense remains on track after he moved into the semi-finals with an assured display against Zhizhen Zhang of China. The top seed and world number 4 delighted his birthplace crowd as he wrapped up a 6-4, 6-3 win in 1 hour and 6 minutes to set up a first meeting with Spaniard Pedro Martinez. By beating Zhang, Zverev also moved clear of world number 1 Yannick Sinner for having the most tour-level wins of the year with 43. The 27-year-old German, who will travel to Paris to defend his men's singles Olympic gold after the tournament, is now on an 8-match win streak at AM Rothenbaum. Turning to golf now, the Open Championship, Shane Lowry held a 2-shot lead at 7 under despite a meltdown on the 11th that saw him score a double bogey. The Irishman started the day well with a birdie and then took the lead on the 4th. He fell back on the 5th, but by the turn was 1 shot ahead of overnight leader Daniel Brown. Lowry steadied after the 11th with a pair of birdies on the final 3 holes to walk into the clubhouse with his head high. Justin Rose had an impressive round of 68 to join Brown on 5 under, while Billy Horschel, Dean Burmester and Scotty Scheffler are on 2 under. 3-time Open champion Tiger Woods failed to make the cut with a 77 to finish at 14 over, while 2014 champion Rory McIlroy also struggled with a 75 to end his tournament on 11 over. Tour bus driver arrested after testing positive for cannabis. Details after this short break.
Acik dengar sini Acik. Masya nak cakap. Ni geram sebab apa? Tadi korang tak nak buat apa-apa. Sekarang baru tergigit nak potong bawang lah, nak potong kuku lah.
Acik nak masak tengah hari kan. Acik tak payahlah, tak ada siapa tengok Acik punya jasa tu keluar sekarang tengok Melody sejam je pun.
Macam-macam. Apa marah-marah ni? Kenapa marah-marah ni? Tak marah, geram je.
Marah tak ada saja, keluarkan perasaan Acik. Cepatlah kita nak gosip dengan Acik ni.
Betul tu. Makcik-makcik kat dapur semua, kalau nak tengok gosip panas jangan lupa saksikan Melody setiap hari Ahad 12.30 tengah hari hanya di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton. Music.
Wanita hebat menyuntik inspirasi, cipta kejayaan dengan usaha sendiri.
Saya suka bercakap, saya boleh bercakap 8 jam non-stop. Kalau di tempat sistem tu tak kena, memang orang kata ADHD dia bermasalah. Tapi di tempat yang sesuai, diorang boleh thrive dalam hidup.
Fokus utama dalam dekor saya nampakkan tak clutter. Dekat tingkap ni ada long bench. So bila nak makan tu memang sedaplah mata memandang.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. A tour bus driver was detained after testing positive for cannabis during a special operation conducted by the Kedah Road Transport Department. The 45-year-old man was detained at the Hutan Kampung Toll Plaza at about 4 a.m. on Saturday during a crackdown on tour buses and public transportation vehicles. Kedah JPJ Director Steen van Lutam said the man was also found to have a history of drug-related offences. He was detained under Section 3, Subsection 1 of the Drug Dependence Treatment and Rehabilitation Act. Following the arrests, the tour bus was allowed to continue its journey with a second driver. During the operation, which began on Friday, more than 1,000 vehicles were inspected. Of these, 138 vehicles faced enforcement action, while 329 notices were issued for non-compliance with road safety rules and regulations. 3 motorcycles and a bus were also seized, while 6 express buses were subjected to action under the Tourism Industry Act. In Perlis, 2 traffic policemen have been remanded for 3 days for allegedly hurting and extorting a Bangladeshi man in Kangar. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Ana Rozana Muhammad Noor. Perlis Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Abdul Halim confirmed the matter and said that the investigation was conducted under the Penal Code. The 2 suspects were arrested following a report lodged by a Bangladeshi man claiming that the 2 policemen assaulted as a result of the incident. He said the entire investigation will be conducted transparently and fairly and will not protect any policeman who breaks the law. His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim as the 17th King of Malaysia. With that, I'm Azaria Tagaya. Thank you for tuning in and we'll see you next time.